Yo, it's Lamar Waves.
Well, we've got to do a proper intro. Big up. This is the Ghana Ghost podcast, yeah. Joined with Amir, AJ, and the one and only, this guy I've been trying to get on for the longest time. He's been a friend for forever, and I'm so glad we were able to lock in and talk to him. Lamar Waves.
Hey,
get to
what
know.
intro.
Honestly.
Hey.
Honestly. What are you saying, bro?
I'm good. I'm blessed. How are you?
I'm blessed. It's been a while, and you've been a busy guy. We're gonna get into a lot of the work that you're doing, but for those who may not know, let's take it back to you as an artist getting into music.
Yikes. How did I get into music? I started off writing poems like when I was younger. Actually, I was in primary school. I wrote like, I can't believe I'm saying, but yeah, I wrote love letters.
Aw,
No way.
Yeah,
You're a sweet guy, man.
Let's not do that.
you're a sweet
But
guy.
long story short, like it was like love letters into poems, and then throughout secondary school, like I guess I started writing songs, but I was kind of I thought like songs were corny. So I was like, no, it's just poems, and I just used to write a lot, like whenever I go through like situations. And then after that, I think also this was around about the time we had like music lessons in secondary school. So I remember whenever we had music, there was this program. I don't think it was Cubase yet. Cubase was crap, but there was this like old school program on the computer where like we would make beats. And I remember like at the end of every lesson, we would like go through our beats, like all the students. And that was like the one I always wanted to like just show off my beat and like watch everyone's reaction. So after like that, and everyone, like every time I showed my beat as well, like everyone was like always nodding. So
Wait, so you started off more time as a producer?
yeah, actually, yeah. Like even so, maybe 2 years after that, I saved up. Like I was washing cars to save up the whole year to get FL Studios
Bro.
to make the instrumentals. Yeah.
Just fucking cracked it, man.
The struggle, man. The
That's
struggle.
what I did. That's what everybody did.
Yeah.
No, but I rate it. Always go legit if if you're gonna do it properly. Innit?
Yeah.
For sure. Well, I was young at the time as well, so I was just trying to find a way to make it happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Facts. It's so funny washing cars to get FL, like that is Logic. That is like epitome of that early struggle, you know, trying to move. But alright, so you started making music, started producing. When were you going by Lamar Waves back then as well?
So when I was producing, I wasn't really artist.
Yeah.
Like I didn't know I wanted to do like music fully until maybe like year 10. So I saved up and got FL in like year 9.
Yeah.
And in year 10, I was like, because I was producing, like making the beats. I was writing poems, which were really songs, but I just didn't want to say they were songs. And then I was like trying to learn how to sing/rap. So after a while, I was like, wait, because I was sending my friends like some of these like songs. After a while, I started calling them songs, and I'd send like maybe a few of my friends. And after a while, I was like, wait, I'm writing these songs, I'm making these beats. Like, I want to be an artist. It sounds dumb, but it kind of just clicked. I was like, oh, step. And then like after that, I was like, okay, cool. How do we make this happen, sort of thing? And then Lamar Waves came into play.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's funny how like I think for a lot of artists, especially nowadays, because of how like, accessible it is to try and make music, they already have that mindset of like, yeah, I want to be an artist from the jump. Like I've already got my name, but whatever, you know what I mean? But for you to kind of have the passion for making music, making poetry, you know, writing, all of that stuff before, and then realizing, hey, this is something that I can turn my passion into a career. I can do this properly, become an artist. And then Lamar Waves kind of began. Now you've released music, you know, you're established when it comes to the procedure. But how we got connected was through the Finesse Forever business course. I was on that, and you were there. But when I jumped in and I met you, you were already familiar with SK, TK, Mains. Like you weren't like the regular lot that he just jumped in, you know. So you had that kind of connection with them. I want to know how that began. You know, your connection with Finesse Forever, and how you stay, like, you're part of, you know, what they do. You're so synonymous with them. So how did that kind of come to play?
Um, Shout out SK, TK,
Facts.
shout out Mains, James. How that came to play, it was pretty straight. Like, it's pretty simple. They had like so I finished Brit at this point, and
So
I
what year is this?
this is 2021.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. I finished Brit, and what happened? So cool. I didn't want to go to like further education, so I was like, my idea was just put like throwing myself straight in there. I just wanted to do like any workshop that had to do with like musical acting, just get involved, and also and just get on with the process rather than like feel like I feel like you learn the best when you're in the deep end rather than I don't
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Like some
facts.
people become masters of being a student, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
So
facts.
yeah, that was where my head was at, and then I see because I was already following Finesse and SK and TK before anyway. I didn't know them like personally,
Yeah.
but I knew like of them.
Yeah.
So I saw on Instagram they had a flyer for a music workshop, and I signed up to that. Long story short, so basically it was just the first version of what you did.
Yeah.
But the difference I guess of me is that after like all the classes, I would just speak to them in the end. Like I was just I feel like this industry is so based on your relationships with people.
Facts.
100%.
And that's something you can't really manufacture either. So I guess like
Facts.
even through me staying behind and talking to them and like all the conversations we had, like I guess they recognized something within me that's allowed me to stay this close
Yeah.
to them for this long. But even me aside, like they're great people. Like they're
Yeah.
people who, if you try and talk to or if you're trying to get help from, they'll help you anyway. It doesn't matter who you are.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Like they show the same love to strangers.
Facts.
So
Facts.
true.
Facts. Like, yeah, big shout out to SK and TK. And
for real,
James. Like,
for real.
they were the first guests on this show, and that came from. They were so approachable, you know what I mean? And for me, starting off in this game, they were someone that was like, fuck, like I can actually have a connection to these guys. Yeah, you talked about like connecting laterally and being genuine and open with the people that you're, you know, in this business. It really is about the connections you have. A guest that we had on, Sadiq, we talked about it a little bit. Like, you got to be authentic in the way that you make these connections, and
Yeah, you can't be looking like, oh, I'm just trying to get to know my man, just for me to
Exactly.
get further, because people see through that.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
people
yeah.
can tell when you're just being fake,
Literally.
just talking
Yeah.
to them for the sake of a handout,
yeah,
and nothing really happens, to be honest. If anything is bad for you.
for real, for real.
But what I want to know is, like, obviously at Brit School, so many big names have come from there. Tom Holland, Amy Winehouse, you name it, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, being in that sort of place every day, you're gonna make connections with people from all over the industry, whether that be in the music industry, the acting industry, whatever it is, because it's like the hub for the UK. How has that worked out for you in terms of like, have you made any connections, or have you sort of managed to utilize it to push you further? Or was it a waste of time? Because a lot of people just go there and be like, oh, it's useless.
Yeah, that to be you said a lot of interesting things. I'd say with Brit, like, Brit's definitely a great place. I'll just put the disclaimer. No, it's generally like a great place. Because from the secondary school that I was coming from, the sixth forms around me like was just not in tune with what I wanted to do. And
Yeah.
Brit is like fully creative, so you go there. You're even if the social aspects might not be the like even if you don't enjoy the social aspects of Brit, just being in an environment where everyone's a creative is sick. You don't really find that in most institutions. Talking posh. So
That's 100%, 100%.
yeah,
Like, I was at the Brit for a little bit,
I don't even know.
yeah, doing acting, and
Oh, crazy acting gang.
for all, we'll get into that. But yeah, what I found, 'cause again, I came from a state school that my teacher actually recommended I audition. But in a state school, creativity is not, you know, made a focus, and it's so rare to find a place where like you're surrounded by, and because, you know, to get in you have to do an audition. Like, the people around you are vetted in terms of. I'll take it from an acting standpoint. When you're in a scene or something like, and you go all in, you wanna be kind of feel like you're in a safe environment in which like you can give your all because the people around you're not carrying anyone.
That's a great point.
Everyone can kind of.
That's a great point.
There's that. Because back in the States school, I remember there were times where doing a scene or whatever, and I already know this person isn't as weak. They're like they may be a little weak, or they may be just doing acting because drama because they think it's just a fun lesson versus taking it serious. So Brit School kind of offers that, being surrounded by people that are like, alright, we're gonna push this.
For sure.
Know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Like at least to even be in Brit, you must be like at least some level, somewhat interested or good.
Yeah.
And having both usually work out well to work with.
Can I ask you about you auditioned?
Yeah, I did.
I want to ask you about your audition because, bro, I had to do like a Shakespeare piece and then a modern monologue.
Yeah, same.
And
I
did like Romeo and Juliet, and I did one thing from the monologue from Fences. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But
crazy.
Yeah, but I had the weirdest question asked to me by one of my man who was doing the audition. He was like, by the way, I also fucked up my Shakespeare monologue. Like halfway through, I just blanked out.
Oh shit.
Yeah, but I just kind of styled it out, like. But you asked me.
You allowed to curse?
Yeah.
Oh, it's too late. That.
Yeah,
Let's do it. He asked me, so far, like at the time I didn't think it was weird, but looking back, I'm like, he was like, so when you look at someone, bro, this is gonna be on YouTube, and like. I'm just deep in it, like, I don't know what. Look, the question was asked to me. I feel pressure. I want to get into this school, so I answered it, yeah. He was like...
He's about to draw some brazy shit.
He was like, when you look at someone like Hitler, what about him do you think is good that you would take from... Something like that. I'm paraphrasing, but that was the question.
Do you know what the teacher's name was?
Nah, some white guy.
Should put him on blast.
Some white guy. Bro, I remember like... What the like in my mind I'm like, what the fuck? And
How
I'm
do you
like,
even answer that correctly? As in, like, what do you say? I admire his leadership. Like, what's the correct answer in that situation?
I'm not even speaking on this. I'm not involved.
Like, I remember saying like, mind you, yeah, you're 16. Like, this is an older. This is the most prestigious acting school in the UK.
Gonna start sounding like yay.
Exactly. The power dynamic is very intense in that room.
Gonna start sounding like Kanye,
bro. I don't even want to get into it, but let's just say I answered the question, yeah. But after, I'm like, what the? So I just want to ask. I want to know.
That's a wild question.
Yeah, I want to know what your audition process was like.
Yeah, no, I actually had a similar question. Actually, no, I'm joking. That's taking me back. It was actually pretty chill. Like I remember we had like a workshop, and I think every day there was a workshop. So, so I think I went in on a Tuesday. But I think they were doing workshops like every day of the week.
Yeah.
So that I remember like having that in mind of there's so many people was auditioning.
Yeah.
And then after the workshop, you have an audition as well. I did a Shakespeare, forgot which one I did, and then I had a monologue. I forgot the play, but it was Misty.
Oh yeah.
I got a sick memory. I did a monologue from not Misty, but the same play, the same writer. He wrote another book that was funny. It was like 3 different characters in there, so I did a monologue from that. I'm trying to remember how it went. It actually went all right. It went. I feel like I think I messed up on the Shakespeare.
Yeah. And
I like at the start, and I just asked, "Can I go again?" And that was okay. But yeah, even how I got into Brit was how I knew about Brit was I had a school trip to Brit one time in like year 9. And when I went there and I saw it, I was like, I have to come here.
Yeah.
And I remember like all the people in my class were like, I think they didn't believe it was kind of possible. Yeah. Like, they all kind of just like laughed at the idea. Not just at me saying it, just anyone. They're like, what we wish like we could get into that.
Yeah.
The thing is, most people don't really try.
Honestly.
Yeah.
And not only do they don't try, they don't. I feel like for a lot of people, because they don't have access to a lot of like what Brit is. It's so hard to imagine a place like that where you are told and celebrated to go into the arts, and you're surrounded by a school that like has an emphasis and puts money towards it. Like
especially
for sure.
if you're like coming from an ethnic family.
Yeah.
It's facts. It's facts.
Like from Asian families or like black families, they always, in my experience at least, become a doctor, lawyer, engineer.
It's facts.
You know, something academic, something STEM, and you're really kind of shunned for going into like the creative side of stuff.
No, it's
they look
facts.
at you like, oh, what is he doing?
Yeah.
He's wasting his life, etc., etc. And to
Yeah.
go to a place
Yeah.
like Brit School, like he said, it's changing because you know you don't feel like you're wasting anything because everybody else around you is on that same vibe as well.
Yeah.
How was that for you? Like, because you not only pursuing acting early, then pursuing music, and then decided I'm not going to go into further education. How was that? Like, those type of talks, you know, if you don't mind.
So even before Brit, when I knew I wanted to do like music, and acting to an extent, I think with my parents, I think once I got into Brit, my mum kind of like she couldn't really say anything sort of thing.
Yeah.
I don't think like again she was like, oh,
Yeah.
you were good at science and oh you could do tech and etc. But I think, and she still might say that, but once I got into Brit, it was like, okay, like you couldn't actually.
Yeah.
I got in.
Exactly.
You know,
Exactly.
so I must be decent ish. And I think like after that she kind of like couldn't really say too much because even when she talked to her friends and they would tell her, oh wait, that's a good school, and then it kind of like mellow her.
You kind of have to like show that this isn't just
I think
fun.
that definitely helped. I think that definitely helped. I kind of forgot the question, so I'm just gonna freestyle.
All good. All good. So like we talked a lot. We're gonna get into the music. Don't worry. But I just wanna brush up a little bit more on the acting because I know you've just talk as much as you can because I know like you know there might be so much you can say, but you just finished up a project.
Yes, sir.
And this was part of the BBC. This was, you know, I'm a.
Shh, they don't know yet.
I say no. Part of a company in the UK, a film company in the UK. We talked about this before. Like we had a little bit of a conversation where you were. I'm not gonna say like unsure, but you were questioning like how much you want to put into acting versus is it gonna take away from music? And I remember that conversation, and honestly, I was like, do both. Like it's not gonna detract. Obviously there might be in terms of timing and stuff, but any way you can elevate your star power, any way you can elevate your presence is only gonna be beneficial with whatever you try
They
to
go
go
hand in
into.
hand.
Yeah.
A lot of people transition between the two.
Yeah. So let's go back to how that came about and how that process was.
Cool. So before the project even started, I have to go back to Brit. So, because I remember you asked me, how was Brit, and Brit, because you started talking about other people as well. Like some people will come in and take advantage of it, some people don't.
Yeah.
The thing is most people from Brit, or a lot of people from Brit, like will finish like because the household names that you just named, there's a lot of household names, but compared to the amount of students that are there, the ratio isn't the same. Like just because you go Brit don't mean like you're gonna be big or you've got like everything on a plate, because it's really not like that. Like there are a lot of opportunities, but a lot of people don't know how to
capitalize on them.
There you go.
Because I went to music school as well. Like not for sixth form, but like for uni. And exactly what you're saying is there was a bunch of shit available, and me included, didn't take advantage of it. And I feel like I wouldn't have went back. As in, like, if I could go back in time and choose to go music school, I wouldn't have done it.
Crazy.
Because I feel like if I just went into the deep end, I would have picked up that information anyways. But it's different for each person. Some people, you know, prefer the whole like educational environment and making connects that way and sort of getting game.
Yeah.
Other people prefer to just go solo and do it themselves.
For sure.
For me, that was the way. But how was it for you? As in, like, would you have went back and redone it if you were to go back in time?
Definitely, I would definitely redo it. I was a COVID. I was a lockdown baby, so half of my year was gone.
Oh shit!
Half of my year was spent online, which wasn't the same. But yeah, so my
wait, at the Brit.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Like after
how does that even work?
Exactly. yeah, shambles. But
There's a lot of it's just creative stuff. So like, how do you do that over Zoom?
no, I can't lie. Like they tried. I think after it was because it was the Brit Awards when Dave won that year, and after that, there was like a week or so after lockdown,
Yeah.
and so everything was online. So that was kind of. It wasn't really the same. I even stopped. Like I wasn't really attending classes online either. Like I was just focusing on
I
music.
hate online.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even I had like the last 6 months of my course online.
Mm.
Oh, I hated it, man.
Yeah, no,
I hate it.
it's not it. It's not it. Because especially with like creative stuff, you kind of got to be in a room. Like to act with people,
Facts.
it's hard to do all of that. Like even though the industry like is a lot of self tapes, in terms of like learning acting and especially doing scenes with other people, you need to be like physically with them. Because I feel like acting, it's like a connection thing.
Yeah.
Whether it's how you find your connection to the words or your environment or the
Even
people
with your,
around
like,
you.
cast,
Yeah, and I feel like it's harder to do when you're like not with them physically. But yeah, long story short, some people capitalize off of Brit, most people don't.
Yeah.
And leaving Brit, I was lucky enough to have an agency offer. Because we had like a final performance, but that was live streamed, so like even I was thinking that's gonna be crap.
Yeah.
But I was even surprised as well. Even my mum, because my mum watched it, she was like, "Wait, you got an agency offer?" I was like, "Raw."
Zero face.
But legit. But what's it? Yeah, I had an agency offer, but I didn't take it on.
How comes?
Because I think after the Brit, I enjoyed acting, but I think I was tired of acting with like after finishing Brit. So I kind of just wanted to focus on music. Even when I was like in the online classes, I almost got kicked out because I just wasn't turning up. Like I think this was around the time because a month into lockdown I released my first song. Then a month after that I released like my first music video. So I was just music.
Yeah.
Like I was just focused on music. Like I wasn't really on it like Brit.
Yeah.
So when did you have that transition of like, oh god, I don't want to do acting anymore? Music it is.
It wasn't even I didn't want to do acting anymore. I guess it was just like Brit can. I guess how do I say this in the best way? Online lessons weren't fun. Number one.
Yeah.
And then like there's like social. You know when you watch High School Musical?
Yeah. Yeah. I knew it.
Like Brit's a great place. I think in every school there's different personalities.
Yeah.
And so sometimes personalities can be like like you can get like drama.
Yeah.
And I think the drama for me like was draining.
Yeah.
So that kind of just steered me away from like school in general or like my social environment.
Yeah.
I just wanted to. Music was more in my control. Was more like personal, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, I wanted to more steer into that, I guess. And I think I think I have more of a passion. I hope my agent doesn't see this. But I think I've always had more of a passion for music, but I've always done acting.
Yeah.
So like music's always what I do mainly in my spare time.
Yeah.
But in terms of educational route, like I could have chose music as a subject in secondary school, but I didn't. I chose acting.
Yeah.
And I could have applied for music or music tech, but I applied for acting. So acting I feel like has always been an anchor as well.
Yeah.
So yeah. But cool. Some people utilize Brit, some people don't. I had an agency offer and I didn't take it on because I wanted to focus on music. So but shout out to Simon. I spoke to him and he was like, if in 6 months time like you change your mind or you wanna, because it wasn't that I didn't want to do acting, I just wanted to focus on music, like it's straight off the Brit.
Yeah.
So he said in 6 months time, like if you feel like you're ready, like he was passionate about like taking me on, and I contacted him maybe a bit longer than 6 months, but then I didn't reply and I almost fumbled it, long story short. But long story short, I got back with my agent. It sounds like some breakup or something. And then and then that's how the project that's gonna be on called Pray. I don't know how much I feel like I've signed Nah, it's cool. I'm cool with the director.
Yeah.
Anything you don't want, we can just cut out.
Nah, it's cool. It's cool. Yeah, no, what's it? And that's when was doing auditions, self tapes, and landed the lead role for.
Big up. Say that again for the people in the back. You know.
I landed the lead role for the short film that's gonna be on BBC hopefully this year. So
That's blessed. That's really blessed, man. Yeah. So interesting because while you're talking about it, I was just deep in like how the Brit school would have been online. Like that whole dynamic is just crazy to me. But yeah, like you said, having to leverage that and utilize it. From the conversation we had, I was always like, just take these opportunities and it's just gonna add up. You know, it's gonna like boom, the bag you make from this project, put it into banging out studio. You know,
nah, literally like after that, I was like, yo,
yeah, you know what I mean, like
gotta double down on acting.
You know, it's just one of them things. I think if you're an artist out there and you're kind of juggling, find your balance, but also don't think that one is gonna detract. Like, oh, I can't be an actor because I need to be in mute. No, just find the balance and utilize it, man. Just take advantage of that. Let's talk about music and what's coming next. I know recently, end of last year-ish, you had a listening party.
I did indeed.
You have some new music out. Like, let's talk
indeed.
about this. Let's talk about this project, how it came about, your mindset going into it, and what you want your fans to take from this.
Cool. So hopefully the behind the scenes of that listening party should be out soon. But in terms of the new music I got coming out, you just gotta listen to it. I'm excited. I feel like even when I listen to I can't even listen to my old stuff. Like my music that's up, I can't even. I couldn't tell you the last time I listened to it.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like the growth between that and this is just it's different.
So do you feel like you're finding your sound, or like are you just still experimenting?
Yeah, I'm still experimenting. I feel like you're always experimenting. I feel like that's what being creative is.
Yeah.
But I definitely feel like I have more of a clutch on my sound, I guess. Yeah. I feel like the quality, like the level of music is just is good. I feel like if you didn't know, it's a big statement, it's gonna get cropped. If you didn't know who like Drake was or like your favorite artist was, and you played my music, like my goal is always like whoever is regarded as like the top or the best, if you play their music you didn't know them, and you played my music you didn't know it, like the quality at least like should be similar levels, like to the point where you couldn't tell the difference, whether that's mixing and mastering wise, whether that's like vocally wise, whether that's content wise of the song. Like I want it to be like I'm not trying to compete with people around me, or like I'm trying to be the best that I could be, and I can only gauge that off of what I regard as the best. Too.
Facts. I think that's like, even listening to you speak about this project, like I feel it. Like I feel that mindset of you've leveled up, and I know you've been working with like JB on this.
Shout out JB, made it. Where's like, the camera?
The elevation when it comes to production, I know it's gonna be there. You've got a team around you now, like, and like you said, it's about growth, and I think as an artist, that's what you need. You know, I don't think having that mindset of like, been a while since I listened to my old stuff. I don't think that's necessarily. I think that's a great thing, in fact, because I think a lot of artists can get caught up in their own hype, and sometimes that forces you to stay at the same level. If you're not critiquing yourself, if you're not thinking of ways you can get better, thinking of ways that you can, you know, level up, you're always going to be the same, you know. And it's not to damper, like, I'll say that, oh, my old shit is bad. It's more of like, every year I want to see some sort of progression. I want to, you know, I want my newest shit to be my best shit, basically.
Keeps you moving forward as well, right?
Exactly.
You don't get stuck in the past of like, oh, my old album did XYZ numbers, or my old single sounded like this, or my new single has to be. You just keep moving forward and seeing what comes.
For sure. I think a lot of people. I sound like a guru today. I feel like a lot of people focus on like it's about what are people gonna like what people, you know what I'm saying. But I feel like you just gotta focus on what you feel is right. Like, how can you make it better?
Yeah.
Rather than focusing on what are people gonna like, because I feel like the intentions are wrong.
Yeah.
I don't think, even because let's say it sounds kind of corny, but let's just say like music is like an invention,
Yeah.
and like most inventors, they probably weren't thinking, what are people gonna like to the like been the best successful. They're probably trying to renovate an idea, or how can I make this the best idea it could be, sort of thing. I don't know if that makes sense. I might just be waffling a little.
No, I got you. Bro, Lamar Waves, first of all, I just want to say, so blessed for you to come on. Like, so blessed for you to come on
It's amazing talking
and
to you.
to speak about your journey. Like, I'm a fan of you,
Oh, love.
but most importantly, I'm a friend, so I appreciate it. It's been Lamar Waves. Like, check it out. If there's anything you want to promote, socials, Insta, put it out there, man.
At Lamar Waves on Instagram. I need to see the camera, that one. At Lamar Waves on TikTok. At Lamar Waves on Snapchat. Add me on YouTube. This project's gonna be crazy. Just gonna put it out there. Shout out JB. Shout out YSJ.
We got a release date
We
exclusive.
got release date, exclusive release date. Coming on the. Yeah, you wish. No.
Say no more. Say no
No,
more.
I'll be releasing soon for sure.
Yeah.
Keep your eyes out for that documentary, not documentary,
Behind the
short film
scenes.
as
Behind,
well.
yeah, the short film. Oh yeah.
Short film are coming out.
Prey should come out this year. One Up. Hopefully, I don't know. Yeah, I got another 2 short films called One Up that should come out sometime as well.
Busy, bro. You've been busy.
Trying to be. Behind the scenes should be coming out in a couple weeks. So
Keep
yeah.
tabs on his page. Just follow this guy, bro. You want to be part of this fucking journey. You want to be part of this journey. Yeah. Jump on now. See, I'm gonna be one of them fans who are like, bro, I knew Lamar since. You know what I mean? You man, you newbies ain't on it. You know what I mean,
Gassing
bro?
it.
It's blessed always.
Love.
You know.
Man, appreciate you coming on, bro.
Of course.
It's been the Ghana Ghost podcast with the one and only Lamar Waves. Remember the name, bro.
That's it.